hold of you?
You just contact the mayor's office. He has a special signal that shines in the sky. It's in the shape of a giant cock.
Can't hear?
All right.
Okay, now I can hear.
Outlaw Radio Network.
La 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 la.
It's great.
Now it's cutting out.
Is it better now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And this segment brought to you by Verizon.
So who brought the beer and don't want to pass them?
Who's got beer?
No, what beer?
You don't drink beer anyway. What are you talking about?
Hey, when
Root beer?
When
Really?
when it says A and W, I'm all over it.
Root beer.
Nice.
There you go. Root beer.
Look at that. Kevin's holding.
God
Just
bless.
saying.
God bless you and your root beer. Bro.
Do you need one, Paul?
Just saying.
No,
You want a root beer? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Nothing like the frothy head of a root beer.
I'm going to move my sandwich in the camera view just to give
He said frothy
Just
head.
to point out. That's right. Trojo over here in the corner discussing frothy heads and root beer.
Right on.
Well,
Just saying.
all right. Do you have both cameras on, by the way? This trip? No? Okay.
It's okay. Trust me, I don't want to be on camera tonight.
I-
Anyway, my
I
shirt
really-
says inmate.
Y'all know me. I don't like being on camera unless I'm not. Anyway, you know.
You're awful dressed awful nice, buddy.
The last time I was on camera,
He was in the county jail cell.
it was on YouTube.
Choking out somebody in a McDonald's.
Right. So I try
We'll leave
to
that alone.
avoid camera.
Go west, young man.
That's right.
Go west.
All right, so it's the last call. A reminder, the last call is brought to you by Bindi Myers Felching School for Girls. If you need to be felched or need to learn how to be felched, go to Bindi Myers Felching School for Girls.
BindyMyers.com.
FelchMeMindy.com.
Can we just...
All right.
listen. First of all, I feel really bad for giving out...
BindyMyers.com, where
Hold
you
on.
can learn how to make an eclair.
I'm just... I feel horrible for giving out bad information on this show. Her name is Mindy with an M.
No, we changed it so we're
Byers,
protected.
B-Y... What?
We changed it so we're protected from any kind of libelous suit.
We're not liable for anything. We're not giving false or misleading information. I'm actually correcting the record and giving out her real name. Okay, go on.
So is it Mindy Byers Felching School for Girls?
No, just Mindy Byers.
Okay.
Nothing about
Do you know
a
what
felching
felching
school.
is, Chris?
Don't ask Chris.
So, Chris, you may not want to know the
Chris,
Do you know what felching is, Chris?
Chris, when it comes to your con that's coming up, if you put up on a big sign,
Right.
felching, semicolon, and then the definition,
Yeah.
you will literally turn people away.
Nice.
Or if you make a colon to the right, you'll have a really big long line.
Do you want to know what felching
of
is?
people looking for
Sure.
a demonstration.
I will tell you what felching is.
You know,
so
I
you're
can
not.
I can add that to my geek repertoire.
Don't do it.
Here's what felching is.
No.
Felching is the act of sucking semen from any human orifice, for example, an anus or vagina. It can be done with a drinking straw when the semen is deep inside the rectum. That's what felching is. I warned you. The last hour just goes to hell quickly.
You know, the guy is partially responsible for a major con coming to Bremerton. I'm pretty sure anything you throw at him, he can handle.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Because first of all, I know as a fellow geek, as a guy that grew up.
You are not a geek, you
I'm sorry,
idiot.
Listen. Okay,
Age of the geek,
I'm
baby.
gonna throw this.
Age
story,
of the
I mean, a
geek.
sandwich. You go ahead and talk.
Okay, I'm going to throw this story out there, and I do. So help me God, if any one of you laughs, I'm going to continue to sit here because my back hurts really bad. But I'm going to make this story.
Who
plain
won the game
because-
tonight?
Because we got our asses schmucked.
You wasn't playing against.
Were you pitching?
Speaking of felching,
Were you pitching?
I always pitch
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many runs did you give up?
no.
7 or 8. My ERA in softball is like a single digit, and it's not really fair because I pitched at a very high level at
It's
the world
single
championship
digits.
levels.
It's a 9.
No, see now ignorance is bliss for you, but in softball it's very easy to put up 15 or 20 runs. My ERA is like 8.5.
Wait. You're talking to a guy who was a state
Oh, God.
winner in softball.
This
Thank
is when
you
they
very
have
much.
the
No, listen.
biggest penis contest.
I'm gonna take some root beer.
I know exactly.
I'm gonna
what
drink
it
some
is.
root beer and eat a sandwich.
I am a state champion.
Really?
In
Yeah.
softball.
I've been
there's
playing.
that-
I've
there's
been
that
playing for
frothy head.
22
I mean,
years. I've never once.
That's
seen
like the
you on
Dallas
diamond.
Cowboys saying, we won a
I'm
Super
just
Bowl in the
saying.
90s. Don't forget us.
Listen. Okay, hold on.
I
Because
played
don't-
for a team called Thriller.
Yeah, never heard of him.
I know because he was in Arkansas. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
Yeah, then you haven't played in this century. So
I've
here's
got
my
a
point.
Shut up.
Here's my
Arkansas.
Here's my point. Here's my point.
Because this is Thriller.
Where the hell was I going with this anyway? God damn it! You know what? You're an asshole. You totally threw me off, and it's completely your fault.
That's awesome.
How did I start this conversation off?
So from
Kevin?
now on, if
You were
we
going
want
to
to
tell us
stop,
a geek story. Shut up, Kevin.
Yes, thank
Kevin,
you.
Shut up.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here's the deal. Listen, and I don't ever drink that fucking root beer. I'm telling you right now, I don't ever want to hear either one of you assholes make fun of me for the story that I'm about to tell you.
which means you know I
because-
will.
If
Because
this is a geek story,
it's a
believe
total
me, I
geek
would
story.
never make fun of you.
Because Kevin went out of his way to try to make fun of the fact
Look.
you weren't a geek, you were never a geek.
Look.
Blah, 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 blah. Shut up and let me
We've all
explain the
seen
story.
We've all
Are
seen
you
your
gonna?
wife, so there's no way we'd make fun of you.
Well,
about
I
being a
chloroformed her,
geek.
drug her home, and made her marry me. What do you
Just
want?
saying.
All right. So
that
here's
sounds
the
like my story.
right. So here's the deal.
When they got married, they went through a drive-through Elvis chapel. She was drunk and passed out. She's completely drugged. The drive-through Elvis chapel was like, "Do you want to marry this guy?" And he reached over and grabbed her face. Yes, I do. Go ahead.
Ventriloquism.
By the way, can I point out that I'm a higher level than you on Vegas slots now? All right. So, and by the way, screw you, asshole, for getting me addicted to that shit.
You're very welcome.
So anyway.
Vegas
So
show
here's
coming
the deal. Here's the deal.
Geek story.
Go ahead, geek story.
Total
Shut up,
geek
Kevin.
story.
Shut up.
Total-
Come on, geek, go.
This is beyond geekage. This is really, really bad. It's
only a 4-hour
and if
show. Hurry
anybody
up.
calls this show and makes fun of me for it, so help me God, I will kill you in your sleep. All right.
I kill you.
Yeah, that's right. So here's the deal. So I when I was a young man, I was like 6, 7 years old. My mom had some friends, and they had some schools. They had some aerobics, some dancing and ballet schools, and all that stuff. And so my mom said, "Hey, I'm going to take you now. I'm going to go ahead and enroll you," because at the time I was playing pee wee football, pee wee baseball.
Right.
My mom says, "I'm going to go down and enroll you in these classes," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever, Mom. You're my mom. Whatever. I'll do what you say." She goes down, and I didn't think anything about it. She enrolled me in ballet. And gymnastics. So from the time I was 6 till the time I was a 6th grader, I was enrolled. So all through grade school,
Yeah.
I was in gymnastics and ballet.
But
Twinkle
Okay.
toes.
I bet you were one limber motherfucker.
Well, that's a good way to put it, because by the time I hit junior high school, I was such a standout athletic star because of the gymnastics and ballet.
right.
It was
Yeah.
disgusting. By the time I hit high school, by the time I hit 9th grade at Fairview Junior High, I was playing varsity football for Olympic High School as a cornerback.
Yeah.
And then I was playing running back, and I was playing wide receiver. So for me, it was this huge, immense. It just gave me this huge lift
Yeah.
because I had body control. Well, then in the 8th grade, my friends and my fellow students found out that I was in ballet,
Right.
and guess what happened? The ridicule
Oh, yeah.
started, and it was to the nth degree. Okay, and now all of my friends at that point. I mean, I did not enjoy hanging out with the jocks.
Yeah.
Or the stoners or the rockers or anybody else. I enjoyed hanging out with the geeks. So here I was already hanging out with the geeky guys, and then everybody found out, oh, this stud football guy. They just thought I was being Mr. Nice Guy, and that's why I hang out with these kids. No, it was because they were like me. Okay, so I was hanging out with the geeky kids in junior high, and everybody found out that I was in gymnastics and ballet, and then the ridicule began, and my life did this huge downward spiral for about 2 years, until somehow. When my grandfather passed away, life kind of struck me oddly, and I said, "Screw all these people. I don't care what they think." Now,
Right.
unfortunately for me, I had quit ballet and gymnastics because it had taken my life and made me at least normal, a normal guy hanging out with geeks, and I was a geek. That's how I looked at it. I was a geek hanging out with geeks, but I played football and I played sports because I enjoyed them. So I was the jock of the geeks is the best way to look at it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the comment earlier. So my friends always joked with me, "I'm not an animal, I'm an athlete." Which, by the way, for those of you who don't understand the reference, it's to the Elephant Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not an animal, right? Okay. Kevin's looking at me like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I knew what you
Of course you don't know what I'm
knew
talking
what
about.
you're
You were never a geek. I know it. He knew it.
Yeah.
Tro knew it because
Oh, yeah.
So
he's
all I'm
fucking
gonna-
built
hold on.
like an elephant.
Again, it's the last call. Outlaw Radio Network. Thanks for checking out the show. K-Dog, CD Poe, Chris Duval. Tro is here, and Twinkle Toes is here as well. So,
So help me, ballerina god.
ballerina god. I've seen you dance. Did you not retain anything from your ballerina days?
There's a big difference between ballet and
Yeah.
dancing to fuckers singing karaoke.
There is.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
From now on, you will be St. Paul the ballerina.
Ballerina?
The ballerina.
Ballerina?
Really?
That-
The
he said it,
ballerina.
right? You heard it.
Ballerina.
Yeah. Oh, I heard it. Okay.
Whatever. Why are you showing him shit when we're doing the show? Nobody
We're
can
not
see
on
it.
camera.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not an animal. I'm
just-
a DJ.
I'm a DJ.
So I guess here's my
I do
bottom,
karaoke.
Here's my bottom line is that people can get labeled geeks, dorks, jocks for a lot of different reasons. And for me, I felt that being a geek and hanging with the geeks made me such a and I preach this to my 13-year-old son to this day. You hang out with the people that other people find socially unacceptable, it will make you 10 times a better person when you grow up.
Yep.
And God help him if he hasn't adopted it and he's feeling good about it. He's got friends online from Colorado to Texas to Australia to England.
That's awesome.
And he absolutely loves them and he has a great time and he'd rather hang out with those kids than the kids from his own school. And God bless him for it.
And that's the bottom line because Twinkle Toes said so.
K-Dog, I know you can't see this. I know. The
Why are
people-
you playing videos in the middle of the show?
Oh,
Because
he's not playing
because
it for you, he's playing
just
it for me.
Somebody just sent this, and I know how much you.
Why don't
hate
you
soccer.
forward it to Strip?
I
and
know
when
how
Strip
much you
gets
hate
back,
soccer. Hold on, I want to get this because it's soccer.
no, forward it to Strip
And
and
it's
so you can show it to the
It's soccer, and I need to get K-Dog's approval before.
Just
I
no.
put this
Let's stop.
soccer
I'm not
game
looking
up.
at it. I'm not looking at it.
Oh,
you forget
hell
this
yeah.
is a
Did you go to
radio
the soccer
show.
game?
No, this is a radio show. If you're going to play something, send it to the Strip. He can play it out. We can look it on the camera up there.
Quite frankly, I was enjoying it over here. In
Send it to
private.
Strip.
It's a great soccer game.
Oh,
That's
my
a great
God.
soccer game.
I don't understand this at all.
Quite frankly, I'm
You
enjoying
guys
it.
totally forget the fact that we're doing like a show that people have to be
No,
able to see.
no,
what we're
he'll
talking about.
forward it.
Oh, I'm
He'll
going to
forward
forward
They
it,
can
but
play it.
I want K-Dog's opinion. Would he go to this soccer game before I forward it? I'll still send it to the people. I mean, would you go
Let
to
me
this
see it.
soccer game?
No, because it's still fucking soccer.
Fuck you.
But those bitches want to be doing something constructive.
Notice whose eyes are glued to it right now. His eyes are glued to it.
Look, I was trying to figure out if they were naked or if they were wearing a thong. I couldn't tell. But
It
they were wearing a
doesn't
thong.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Listen, here's the deal. Here's
I'm
the
going
deal.
to this soccer game.
Of course you are.
God
Buying front
almighty, that's
fucking row
Brazil.
tickets.
Whew.
You know what? You know what you and the
Brazil.
girls at the soccer game will have in common? Neither one of you are going to score. Okay.
Listen. So Poe, can I call you Poe?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Poe.
All right, Poe. What? Not poor.
No, go ahead.
I'm not just mispronunciating poor.
It's not like he said.
Can I call you
It's
Po
not
at
like he
work?
said po boy.
Can I call you Poe at work?
Sure.
Poe. Okay, go ahead.
Fire your
you said it's C.D. Poe.
Yeah.
Right.
That's his artist name. Yeah.
Right. So can I just call him Poe?
That's cool.
You said yeah. Go ahead.
I'm
So
totally.
stop being a schmuck
Yeah.
about it
I was
because
gonna say, I don't give a rat's ass whether he doesn't
right,
like it.
right. Geeks get it.
That's
Clearly,
right.
the non-geeks, the guys who think they're better than the rest of the geeks, don't get it. Okay.
So geek cred, and this is a testament to my wife. I love you, baby. This ring is a black tungsten replica of the One Ring. From
I was going
Lord
to
of the
say
Rings.
one ring to rule them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, it's got the
Let's
Elvis,
see. Pass it over.
It's got the Elvis script on the inside and the outside too. So yeah,
Wait, when you put it on, does it light up?
dude, I totally wish it did.
Could you do that?
That
Could
would
you
be so
imagine a little
awesome.
freaking battery in these things? Listen, if they can make a vibrator for a woman, sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry. That's totally inappropriate. I'm
we'll
sorry.
explain later. What that is.
I did
I
not
don't
mean
know
to
what
give
that
you-
is. We'll explain later what.
Did
a
you
woman,
see
what
the
a
look
woman
on his
is?
face? When I said that, his face was like, huh?
Woman. What is
Yeah.
this thing you call woman?
Yeah. Listen, that's freaking awesome, dude. What's that? He said, "What's this thing you call woman?"
Sorry,
I
buddy.
love it. That's great. That's a promo. I'm recording this entire section, and that is going
I hate
to be
all
a
of you.
Promo.
I didn't realize this was Team Up on K-Dog Night.
So this is basically my second and last appearance on the Outlaw Radio Show.
in fact, we're security.
Now, Poe, you're an artist,
Yeah.
of the nth degree. So
An
I
artiste.
think, I,
Artiste.
Will you shut up?
I think Poe should come back on a regular basis. I think Poe should give some serious thought to having his own show. That's what I think. But that's just me speaking because
Cool.
I've been listening to him and I've heard him and I understand, the way he elocutes himself, the way he puts himself out there. I'm sorry, those are geeky words. I should really rephrase that for you, Kevin. The way the man speaks.
We'll explain those later too, along with the woman thing. All
ahead, I'm just listening to
I
you guys.
overplayed that. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
you did.
I'm just
It was
listening to you
perfect.
guys.
It was great. It was great. Hey, Kevin, how's your dating life?
Non-existent. How's yours?
His voice.
Mine?
Could you hear that? Non-existent.
Non-existent. How's
Actually,
yours?
Okay, Kevin, that's a fair question. My dating life is excellent.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a great date yesterday. I had a great date on Thursday. I'm dating so much now. It's cramping my style.
Yeah.
Now, every one of those dates is either with one of my two sons or my wife, but that's not the point. That's not the point. I absolutely love. Yesterday, I took my son out and my wife and my youngest son. Now it's my oldest son's 13th birthday today. Hunter. It's his
Hunter's 13th birthday today?
Happy
13th
birthday.
birthday today. And so yesterday, my wife and I and our 2-year-old took Hunter. We went to. He'd never been to the old Curiosity Shop. So we went
Really?
there. Yeah, we went
Oh,
there.
that's
and then-
badass.
yeah, and then we gave him his choice of going to the Seattle Aquarium or the Pike Place Market,
Yeah.
and he chose to go to the
Do you
market.
go to the aquarium?
No,
No? Okay.
Actually, it was a good choice because the aquarium is going through some construction right now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we ended up going to we walked to the aquarium and then immediately made a right when we found out they were doing construction. Went up to Pike Place Market, and then we all went to Fado's for lunch. You guys been to Fado's?
Yeah.
It's the Irish pub there, right
Yeah.
up off the ferry.
Like a block from our work,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. That,
Oh.
Fado, yeah.
Oh,
It's Fado's.
my goodness
Whatever.
gracious me. That waitress was freaking hot.
Yeah.
Oh. Love you,
You're an
darling. Babe was hot. My wife couldn't stop staring. The waitress was so hot. I'm just. Oh.
Isn't that great?
I gotta go
like
to
when,
Fado's.
when
She
you
was
find
like-
when you find your wife's just kind of looking too. You're like,
Yes.
right on.
Listen, I got to tell this story. So I took my wife up. We went up to Victoria, British Columbia, right? And it
Beautiful.
Was the first time I'd been up there many times.
Right.
Her first time up there. I took her up. We stayed in the same hotel I stayed in every time I go up there. It's right up off the water. And now we got
So that Helms in.
well. No, funny thing. I don't remember the name of it now.
Oh, because that's
it's been
where we stay.
12
It's like
years
right
now.
up. Yeah.
But
Anyways,
here's the
go
thing.
ahead.
So Caleb went with us.
Yeah.
Okay, because my mom and stepdad were coming up with us, but they got stopped at the border and got sent back. Not going to talk about why.
Wow.
So it was me and Harmony and Caleb, right? So Caleb says, "Hey, I'm going to take a shower. I'm just hanging out here in the room. Why don't you guys go get some dinner?" Right? Now I know where we're at. I know the whole neighborhood. I've been there like a half a dozen times over the course of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, when you own a strip club, understand this.
He used to own the
You
strip
have
club, by the way.
you have a few opportunities that other people don't normally get, like
Sex
a lot
with
of money,
hookers.
a lot of money with no responsibility. so a lot of that got blown in Vancouver, British Columbia. So we're up there, and my wife says, "Well, let's walk around the block. Let's find a place to eat dinner." Okay, no problem. We come across this place, and there's this menu on the front door. Nothing else but the name of the location. Oh, look, dear, they have steak. It must be a steakhouse. Let's go in here and eat. I'm thinking, this is not going to end well for me. I already know what this place is, and they don't just serve steak.
Wow.
We immediately, and as I look at her, I said, "Dear, are you sure you want to go in there? Their steaks are $35 a piece for 8-ounce steaks." She's like, "Well, isn't that Canadian?" "Yes, dear, that's Canadian."
It's Canadian money.
And I said, "So
And
what?"
even worse, a Canadian steak.
Well,
So-
here's the worst part. Is I look at her and I say, "So as we walk into this establishment, what am I going to do? Make an immediate right-hand turn, walk up the stairs, and go play pool?" And she looks at me and starts laughing. As we walk in through the front door, she suddenly realizes not only do they serve steak, but they serve it while you're watching strippers, brass poles, and up to the right-hand side and off to the left, there's a pool table. At that point in time, it immediately dawns on her, my motherfucking husband's been here before. So here's the best part about it.
They knew you by name, didn't they?
My wife sits down in the front row.
Nice.
Oh,
First of all,
nice.
the first thought going through my head is, it's a trap.
Run for your life.
This does not end well for you. These are not the droids you're looking for. So I'm watching my wife, and I immediately grab a pool cue because it's the only place at this point in time I feel fucking comfortable going is to the pool table.
Pool table.
He was no match for droid decors.
So that's right. That's right.
Nice.
So I walk to the freaking
Naked
pool
women
table.
here, pool table. Oh, go to the pool table.
I walk to the freaking pool table, okay? Because all I'm thinking in the back of my mind is, this is a setup. This is a goddamn setup, right? So I'm up there and I'm playing pool, and I see the waiter come over to my wife, hand her 2 menus. She spends 30 seconds talking to him, hands the menus back to him, and he then retreats out of sight.
right?
Thinking, this is interesting. She doesn't pay me a look. There's nothing glance. There's no glance. Nothing is coming my way. She's letting me play pool in a strip club, paying me no attention, and her gaze is strictly fixed on the dance floor in front of her in the brass pole,
So there you were, holding your stick.
literally, and playing with my balls.
Right.
All right. Now,
Stroking his stick
While my wife is staring at other naked women.
in public.
now, I ask you,
public.
how does this story go wrong? Everybody's asking themselves right now, how does this story go wrong for St. Paul? Well,
Someone knew you by name.
I'm about to tell you how this story goes horribly, horribly wrong. Now, Caleb is already aware of how this story goes wrong because he was sharing the hotel room with us.
Oh my God!
So it gets good. So I'm sitting up there playing with my stick and hitting my balls,
yeah.
and I'm noticing that my wife still is not paying any attention to me. Several minutes earlier, she gave the order for food, apparently. I then walked back down to her and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And she goes, "Nothing, just waiting on dinner." Fuck, it's another trap. And I didn't exactly. Okay. Is there some place I have to go order dinner? And she goes, "Oh no, I ordered for you."
With a side of arsenic. Okay.
I'm thinking this has gone from bad to why the fuck didn't I tell her what we were walking into before we came in the door? So here I am. Standing behind her to over her shoulder to her right. When I then suddenly noticed that the stripper on the pole in Canada doesn't have to be as far away as they do in the United States.
It's true.
Suddenly, I noticed that snatch is really goddamn close, and she's getting closer. And my wife's gaze is paying zero attention to me. Her entire affection is directed in a 360-degree manner to her front. And at that point in time, it suddenly dawned on me, if this isn't a trap, it's really goddamn cool.
Yeah.
So at this particular moment in time, I then decide it's appropriate to ask my wife, "Well, what did you order for me?"
Fish.
By the way, that's the wrong question to ask while your wife's eyes are fixated on the vaginal orifices of the stripper in front of her.
Fish and tuna.
Okay? Because
I know you're looking at a pussy right now, but what did you order me for dinner, bitch?
yeah. Okay, we'd only been married like 3 years at the time. So it's like we were, I admit it, I was still getting to know her, right? And
Where's my sandwich?
I'm glad I didn't say that, by the way, because at this point in time, the dancer gets off stage. She finishes. My wife says, "Don't worry, dear. Your dinner will be here in a minute." And she literally looks at the dancer and says, "Hey, where do I go to smoke a cigarette?" I'm thinking,
Uh-oh.
really? She danced in front of you for 5 minutes and you need to smoke a cigarette. Where do I learn this trick? Right? So that's
And it was at that moment Paul realized he had never done it correctly.
right? Okay. So then all of a sudden, the waiter makes the comment, who apparently was standing behind us for some period of time, says, "Oh, ma'am, here in Canada, we have smoking rooms. You don't go outside to smoke. You go inside to smoke in a special private room." My wife says, "Okay, where is that?" Whereupon that comment, the stripper promptly looks at her, grabs her hand, and says, "It's
The
right over
champagne
here."
room.
Now, mind you,
Excuse me, I'll be back with my camera.
having owned a strip club, my first thought is the stripper just took my wife to the private nude dance floor. That's exactly
Champagne
what I
room.
thought. And all I'm thinking is, this is
What?
awesome. This is
Love sex in
awesome.
the champagne room.
Right? That's exactly
Lap
what I
dance.
don't.
Her name wasn't BJ, was it?
Oh.
Go ahead, sorry.
So anyway, that's how I was feeling at that particular moment in time. Now, skip ahead 15 minutes because literally it was 15 minutes. The food came. I started eating. My wife's food came. It was sitting
Wait.
there.
First off, why would
Wait.
you eat food in a strip club?
Let me see if I get this right. Your wife is probably getting lap danced on by a hot stripper who has no requirements on how close she can be.
And you're
so
not-
literally it could be muff to face, and you're like, steak. Because they don't have steak where I come from. You're a moron. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was hungry. So, and I was playing pool. All right. So anyway, so here was the deal, right? So I'm sitting
Steak
there-
and pool, because they don't have this where I come
Listen,
from.
okay, first of all, hold on. Let's take a step back and understand that I owned a strip club for 4 years. So for me, it was like it was like eating pizza after owning a pizza parlor. I was like, okay, I've seen it all. I've been there. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so
But
I'm
it's,
sitting.
it's your wife with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I wasn't looking at it that way. I was
Okay,
looking at it.
fair enough.
My wife said, "Hey, where can I go smoke a cigarette?" And the
Right.
to me, the stripper grabbed her hand and took her and said, "Hey, we can smoke over here." That's how I was looking. Oh, she was just being nice. Took my wife out to smoke a cigarette.
She was being
Now-
nice.
Now hold on. Here's where it starts to go wrong.
This would be like having sex with your wife while she eats pizza. This is what you're missing out on. You're just not. You're just not. I've had a lot of pizza, but I've never had sex with my wife while she's eating pizza. That might be fun. Go ahead.
All right. So here's the deal. So like literally, I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying my steak.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing after a few minutes, my wife never came back to get her steak.
I wonder if she's having pizza.
And so it dawns on me. Well, here, listen. Actually,
With
Kevin,
pepperoni?
you're not too far off from,
sure I'm
from my
not.
line of thinking. My line of thinking goes to, what is my wife doing?
She's not eating steak.
What's doing my wife? That's where my line of thought went. And then somehow, for some goddamn reason, my thought process goes to the strip, who's alone in the freaking room, because I'm thinking, well, my wife is alone in the strip club in a room with a stripper and a bunch of others with a bunch of cigarettes, and I'm enjoying a steak. I'm thinking, wow, my little brother is stuck up in the hotel room by himself, and he has nothing to eat.
And again, we could be thinking about having sex with our wife while they eat pizza, but I'm thinking of my little brother, and there's nothing creepy about that.
So again, I'm trying to get to the point now. That here's where we get to the point where it's all starts going wrong.
He just said, what is my wife doing? Who's doing my wife? Why is Caleb in the apartment by himself? How does that make any sense?
That's what I'm getting at.
Who's
Okay?
fucking my wife? Where's my little brother? What? And Caleb just goes,
Well, yeah.
So here's where this. Now, if you're laughing now, here's where this shit gets funny.
oh,
All right.
God.
So I'm sitting here enjoying my steak, thinking about Caleb in the room by himself, going, "Gee, I wish my little brother could be here." Because at the time, Caleb was like 17, I think, maybe 18, might have been 18. Right? You remember the trip to Canada, right?
If you tell me this
Hold on.
Yeah, no, I was younger.
You were young.
I wasn't even in high school. I don't think.
Yeah, you were.
No, yeah, I was. I think I was in like 10th grade.
Yeah, he was young, right? So he couldn't come with. But anyway, so here's the point.
you tell me the stripper was splitting her like
Just
some
shut
spiral
up.
ham, I swear to God, man.
So listen to this, right? So I'm sitting there enjoying my steak, and all these thoughts are going through my head, and I'm thinking to myself, going, "Look, I own a strip club. I know what goes on in these places. I know what these women are back there doing. And honestly, it's not as sexual as people like to think about it. It's like normal. It's actually really serious. It's a lot of business, right? And then all of a sudden, 2 Canadian Mounties come in.
Oh, wow.
And as the 2 Canadian Mounties come in, 3 young men, 18, 19 years old, come out, meet the Canadian Mounties. Little bit of ruckus ensues. They flip them some shit, and they run out the door. Clearly, they were American. And I heard the word U.S. Navy come out of one of the guys' mouths.
Oh,
And
Here's the way.
they were gone. They were out the door. Didn't think much about it.
Oh, there you
I was like, okay, whatever, right? So the fuck you got on your screen over there? Turn it off.
No,
Pay
I
attention
just-
to what I'm telling
I
you.
am.
No, I'm
It was-
listening. I'm
It
laughing
was
at
what
you.
he posted. I just refreshed.
I'm
So,
laughing at
so
you.
here's the deal. Right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I didn't pay that much attention. I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't think much about it. Right? Then that stripper that my wife was talking to comes out, starts talking to the Mounties, points at the guys, those guys, blah 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 blah, who just ran out, blah 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 blah. Right? That's interesting. Then the Mounties promptly do a 180-degree turn and run out the fucking door after him. Right? Huh. That was interesting, too. All right.
Where's my brother?
And then the stripper turns around and walks away.
Wow.
She walks away. Didn't say nothing to me. And mind you, I'm 10 feet from all this. I'm watching it all.
Right.
I'm hearing it all. I'm still trying to figure out where the fuck my wife is. And I'm still sitting there going, well, my steak is half eaten. Nobody's touched her plate. So I start eating my wife's steak.
Fucking, I swear to God.
Just listen. It's worse. Listen. So
I don't see
pretty
how
much-
it can get worse.
Three Navy guys.
No, listen. So
Constables.
a few minutes later.
No idea where your wife is.
No, listen. This is bad.
Who's fucking my
Brother.
wife? Where's my brother at? He's only 13.
So I'm going through all this stuff is going through my mind, and I'm sitting there like the fucking just a complete douchebag in the middle, like all the fucking cameras are just centered on me, right?
Eating steak.
I'm eating the steak, one bite at a time, another bite, another bite, thinking nobody's looking at me. And then my wife comes out about 15 goddamn minutes later. Fuck me, that was a long time to smoke a cigarette. You were gone 20 goddamn minutes. And then it dawns on me, why my wife's hair is soaking wet. Soaking wet.
Oh, for God's
Oh
sake.
God.
I mean, she's like doing this. She's like grabbing her hair and she's like wringing it out. And I'm like, she sits down next to me and she's like,
Her face isn't glazed like a donut, is it?
no.
Okay, just checking.
No, it
Just
wasn't.
checking.
So you're an asshole.
I had to ask. Well, she was in the room with the stripper for 15 minutes.
That was harsh, man.
So
I had to ask.
So she sits down next to me and I'm like, darling?
Hello.
She's like, what? Oh.
Oh,
Fuck! What did I do? Because when you say your wife's name and her response is what?
what? Oh,
Yeah, you know.
I know that.
Something's a little off kilter, right? All right. So she looks at me and I said, everything okay? Thinking it's a very legitimate question to ask under the circumstances. And her response is, do you see those young men come running out? Yes. They thought I was a stripper. I was like, really? That's funny. You're not dressed like a stripper. As it dawns on me, I'm saying this with like a half a dozen strippers standing around me. And she says to me, yeah, well, the one Middle Eastern looking guy, the real lippy guy, I'm like, yeah. She's like, he asked me for a blowjob. That motherfucker. At this point, I'm getting pissed. I'm like, really? I'll kill him. Oh, wait, he's gone. Oh, I'll kill him. I'll kill him. And she's like, yeah. And when I told him I wasn't a stripper, the strippers all looked at, as she's pointing out to me, then the strippers, all the dancers looked at her like she was an ass. She's like, I don't work here. I'm not a dancer. Right? So the guy started getting lippy with her. And he fucking hocked a loogie in her hair. Right? Dude. So then one of the other dancers called the cops. So all of this was going on in the fucking smoking room. I had no clue. I'm out in the front room enjoying a steak.
You're a doofus.
Even then got so enamored by the steak, I decided to start eating part of my wife's steak. Meanwhile,
which probably didn't win any
this
points. This
douchebag sailor boy is spitting in my wife's hair, runs out, confronts the cops, then runs out past him, right? And all the strippers and everybody's looking at me like I'm a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm looking at her, I'm like, so those guys that I'm like, lucky you didn't come out here and tell me about that. I don't fucking killed them motherfuckers. She looked at me, she goes, that's why I didn't come out and say anything to you. So you wouldn't do anything stupid and get yourself arrested in a foreign country. And her hair is like soaking wet. She's like, I'm like, so why is your hair wet? She's like, because they spit the loogie in my hair. I had to wash my hair. So at this point, I'm feeling, I want you to imagine the size of Kevin's penis. This big. I'm feeling this big.
My eyes.
Right?
Let me see if I get this right. You're going to insult me and my penis when you're the one that saw your wife leave the room with a stripper, and all you could think about
my
was,
brother?
how much steak can I eat? Where's my brother? Who's doing my wife? What the fuck?
Yeah. So
did what?
here's where it gets funny as hell. Because my wife and I, as we walk out, we're leaving the place, right? They gave us our meal for free because they were so embarrassed by what happened. And it was U.S. sailors that did it, right? So it was a couple of 18-year-old boys, and they got lippy, and they were drunk and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nobody gives a shit. And so we're walking back to the hotel room. We get back to the hotel around the corner, and we hear this voice out the fucking window. And my wife looks at me. She goes, that's the motherfucker! I'm like, huh? What? And she grabs me by the back of my neck like she's gonna make me do her. And she sticks my head out the window. And she said, you see those motherfucking cunts right down there? They're right down there on the fucking street. I'm like, those three guys stand on the corner? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that's the motherfucking piece of shit motherfucker. She's like, give me your mother. She took the phone. She called the fucking the Mounties, the Canadian Mounties, right?
Right.
And she stood there on the phone to them with her head out the window. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, you got him. She yells out the window, that's what you get, motherfucker! From the fourth floor. The fourth floor. And they got busted.
Oh my God.
You got him.
So, in retrospect, you didn't get to have sex with any of the strippers.
Or watch your wife with us.
And more importantly, your wife didn't have sex with any of the strippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just say this? I can neither confirm nor deny whether or not my wife had sex with one of the strippers because
you were too busy eating steak.
I was not there to confirm or deny it. So
You got the steak, she got the tuna.
yeah, all I have to go off of when my wife came out with wet hair, all I know is that she claims some sailor spit in her hair.
You know what's great though?
That was
Here's what's great though. The next time they go to a city that they haven't been to together before, Harmony's going to take them somewhere, and she's going to go upstairs to play pool, and it's going to be a male strip bar.
Yeah.
Because she'll be like, "I'll teach you, motherfucker."
If that happens, we're gonna call it the Kevin moment.
A Kevin moment.
Yeah.
How do you figure?
Because nothing spells male strippers like the word Kevin.
what?
I'm not really sure where that's coming from. I don't-
What that means is
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
anytime we
about.
engage in male strippers, we're just going to call them Kevins.
okay.
I just thought he was going to go somewhere else with that. Like he was going to call it the Kevin moment. Oh, what do you
I
mean?
did
by that?
call it the Kevin moment.
Basically, I thought you was just going to say I was just going to bounce out on her and leave her with strangers.
The Kevin moment.
The Kevin
moment
moment.
you realize you don't want to be there, so you tell your friends,
I'll be
"Hang out
right
with
back."
this girl. I'll be right back.
The Kevin moment.
I was out of there like, man, I was out of there quick. Oh, guys, I'll be right back. I had no fucking intention of coming back.
That would be a better Kevin.
I
moment.
need to go have a cigarette. You don't smoke.
He was
I do
he
now.
was out of there like the Japanese at Tokyo when Godzilla was coming. I'm telling you right now. I ain't seen a Jew run that fast since Poland, 1939.
Oh wow.
I'm not a Jew, dumbass.
Oh god.
You're not Godzilla. Well, Calfzilla.
Calfzilla, yeah,
Yeah.
Calfzilla.
Really? We need to work on your sense of humiliation.
What?
Yeah. I thought the Kevin moment was when your wife admitted on my Facebook page that she has dreams about coming with me.
Kevin.
She did that too, you know.
Kevin, there are
Said what
times.
dreams about you.
She said she had a dream that she was cuddling with me, and rather than just tell me face to face, she posted it on my fucking Facebook wall.
Yeah, for me to suffer the humiliation.
Oh, I
for the
know,
rest
it's
of
been
my
great, and now-
natural life.
Well, that was going. That winded up right on the show the very next night.
Of course she did.
Can we? You know what? You know what would be really cool? You know
my
what'd be
turn to
great-
tell a
hold on,
story.
hold on. You know what'd be great for the con?
What?
Have Kevin and I and Trojo on stage
Oh,
for
yeah.
a comedic act,
Oh yeah.
which would literally just be our show.
Yeah.
Because that's funny right
Yeah,
there.
that's fun within itself. You know. None of us are comedians.
And we'll just
But,
call
yeah,
it
we just-
we'll just call it politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
Let me tell you a story. I'm gonna tell
I
you a
would be
story.
playing the part of Obama.
No, you're not. You're too fucking tall.
I'm thinking. And tonight, playing the role of Emmanuel Lewis is. All right. So here's a true story. Right when Paul and I
What?
first
Mine
started,
fucking wasn't a true story. It was goddamn.
I like
it was
this story
very
better.
True.
I like the story better.
Here's the true story, unlike Paul's.
So right after we started doing.
Caleb basically told you it was true. Okay, go
No,
ahead.
I'm not saying it wasn't true. I'm saying this is my true
Oh, you
story.
implied it by saying
I did
here's
not.
a true story.
I believe it's true because I know your wife. That's exactly what she would do. I also
Define
know.
is.
I also know. Define is. I also know. We're doing the show, and Paul met. Well, I'm trying to determine if I should tell the Jane story or if I should tell the other story.
No, the other story.
Okay. So, Paul has met Harm. There's a whole long story behind that. That starts with a girl with velociraptor teeth.
Faith Hill.
No, I wasn't going to tell the Faith Hill joke, but I guess I could. I'll tell them both. Thanks, fucker. So the first thing is, Paul and Harmony come into studio, and I had this thing during the time where I would sign girls' asses on the show. So I signed his wife's ass, but this is when they were dating.
Signing my hiney.
Signing my hiney. And so I told her before she left, the next time you have an orgasm, you'll think of me.
By the way, as a subtle thing, it should never be done to a woman who's preparing to have sex with a man. It should just never be done.
The next day I see her, Kevin, I fucking hate you. No, so here's a good story. So
That story's only fucking funny to you.
No, I love it, man. Your wife thought about having sex
You
with
don't
me.
know what my wife thought about. Just shut
Thought
up
about me
and
during
don't be
sex.
funny to you.
And a couple months ago, she thought about cuddling with me. That's like coitus and post-coitus. It just goes together. It makes me wonder how many
Chocolate
times.
and peanut butter.
It makes me wonder how many times she's thought about me and hasn't said it.
Yeah.
Just
Hey, Kevin.
You dipped your
So,
chocolate in my
Paul
peanut butter.
and I are working a show. at the Tacoma Dome. It was Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. They were on their first Soul to Soul tour, the very first one. And so when you work these shows, you get put into different groups. So I was on the video group, which was a bad idea. Let's find the fattest guy and let's make him carry all the video gear to the very top of the fucking Tacoma Dome rafters. Right on. So Paul gets put on carps. No, Paul gets put on sound.
Sound. Yep.
So Paul's on sound. So what you do with sound is you have these big fucking speakers.
Right.
And you daisy chain them together, you bolt them together, and once you have them all daisy chained together, they hoist them up from the ceiling.
And
They
you have
hang
to run all the wires,
Yeah.
all the soundboards. And do all
So-
that good stuff.
So here's Paul, right? Paul. and there's this little kid behind him, like this little girl.
Two little
No, the first one was one little girl.
No, it was two.
Was it two? Okay, so two little girls playing right behind him, right? And so Paul, doesn't, he almost trips over him. And then finally Paul fucking blows his gasket, right? Can somebody move these goddamn kids before I drop a speaker on them and kill them? And next thing you know, you hear this faint little voice go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
She was Mexican.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he turns around. Bam. Faith fucking Hill. So Paul, it turns out it's Faith Hill's kids.
Okay, first of all, well, you're
Hold
missing
on.
part of it, and it was the little lady that was talking about, I'll get them, was a little Mexican lady who was taking care of Faith Hill's kids.
Yeah. So Paul turns around and boom, there's Faith Hill. Now, the best part about this is the look on Paul's, because Paul's like, and before he can say a fucking word, Faith Hill, fucking Consuelo, whatever her name is, and the two little kids are fucking gone, right? So Paul's embarrassed. People on the crew are rousing him.
I
Everybody's-
wasn't embarrassed.
You
Stop
were
saying I was
embarrassed.
I
You were
wasn't
embarrassed. You were embarrassed.
Just
So
told the Mexican chick to contain Faith Hill's kids.
Consuela. Anyway, so later,
Nice day.
a very good friend of ours was one of the lead guys on the crew that's working this, and so he arranged to have us sit in this pre-show. They have
Thanks,
catering.
Tim. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. They have catering, and when you if you're going to work pre-show, then there's a small crew that's selected to work during the show. So during the show, you're pulling stuff off the stage, putting stuff on if they switch out sets or switch out instruments or whatever. Well, he got us on it because it was our first show that we were doing. So Tim was like hooking us up. Be cool to work backstage. Best place to see the show. What nobody was aware of is that if you were on the show, Tim and Faith like to have
Lunch.
the catered lunch with
The help.
people on their crew. So we're sitting there. There's 8 of us, and then there's a guy named Trey, who's Faith Hill's drummer, and Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. And everybody's sitting there.
I didn't know it was Tim McGraw. I had no idea. Who
He thought Tim McGraw would be taller.
I had no clue who Tim McGraw was.
So we're sitting there, we're eating. Nobody's saying anything because it's fucking Faith Hill, right? And everybody's quiet. And all of a sudden, you see Faith Hill lean over and whisper something in Tim McGraw's ear.
You always skip that middle part of the story.
What middle part?
We're in line at the buffet line.
Okay, go ahead.
And the kids start running in between all of our legs, including in between mine. And I'm freaking getting aggravated.
That's right.
And I'm like, Kevin's like 3 people in front of me. I'm like, dude. I'm like, I had just said something. Now, mind you, I didn't hardly realize earlier that the kids belonged to Faith Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, the little Mexican lady, she rounded them up, she took them off stage.
Consuela.
Okay, and that was it. I mean, I caught Faith Hill out of the corner of my eye. I didn't see her as much as Kevin. I didn't realize it as much as everybody else did that they were Faith Hill's kids. So as the kids are in and out of the line, right? I'm like, dude, hey, trying to get my food here, right? And so I made a couple of comments offhanded. Somebody might want to control these kids.
Yeah, and you have to remember too. I don't think I quoted you correctly, but when you were tripping over them, putting the speakers together, I believe you said, "I don't want to accidentally drop a speaker and kill somebody or kill one of these kids or something like that." You said the word "kill." Or are you starting to know? We still got 6 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just.
You're very
warming it
prompt tonight. Look at you.
He's just ramping up.
up. Warming it up so you guys.
Yeah.
So we get our food. We go sit down. Again, everybody's kind of sitting there. It's all really quiet. Nobody's really talking because you're kind of starstruck, right? And so you see Faith.
Well, everybody else was.
Well, yeah.
You see.
He was bitching at kids.
You see Faith lean over and whisper something in Tim's ear, Tim McGraw's ear, right?
And again, I didn't know who Tim was. I had no clue. I knew who Faith Hill was
Yeah.
because my wife was a singer.
I don't think I'd recognize Tim McGraw if
Yeah.
he walked up to me.
So Tim McGraw looks at Paul and then does not look away. And he is just staring at Paul. Now, Paul doesn't notice it at first. The rest of us catch right the fuck on. But Paul,
I'm just enjoying my
probably
lunch.
like he was with the steak in the fucking strip club. Oh, nom, 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 nom. Right? So he's just staring at Paul, like literally. After a while, it was like boring a hole through his forehead, and eventually Paul caught on. Now Paul doesn't say a lot, but you can tell he's a little uncomfortable with the dude staring across the table at him. So literally, this went on for a couple of minutes, and then
3.5.
yeah, and then Tim McGraw just drops his silverware on the table and kind of leans up and half leans over the table, still dead eyeing Paul, and says, and I quote, "So I hear you're the man that threatened to kill my little girls." and somebody, I think he shit his pants. And again, the look on Paul's face was like, fuck. And then Tim McGraw literally laughed his ass off at Paul. And they giggled and they laughed, and it was hilarious. And Tim McGraw pulled one over on Paul.
Hey, wait. That's all you're going to tell? You're
That's
not
all I'm
going to
gonna
tell the
tell.
last 10 seconds of it?
You can tell the last 10 seconds of it.
So, and he's right with everything he just
We
said.
giggled our asses off.
But here was the kicker. As Tim McGraw got up and walked away, by the way,
That's
as he
right.
got up and he walked past me, and I realized, motherfucker's short. He walks right past me at chin level. And I looked at Kevin and the other guys. I could take him.
I can take him.
I can take him.
I can take him.
It's not
He's
idiot.
fucking short, man.
taking him wouldn't have
I'm
been the
thinking is,
problem.
all I was thinking was she's tall and skinny and hot and blonde, and he's fucking 5 foot nothing. He is
Yeah.
literally 5 foot nothing. He's so fucking short. It's just I bet slot A or tab A fits into slot B like perfect with those two because there was like just lay it right on top. Boom, done deal. Like he's like a Polish sex man.
And that, my friends, is what felching is.
And what's great is Paul doesn't have any stories like that about me. I mean, he really doesn't.
Are you fucking kidding?
You don't. You have the lottery ticket story.
We really
That's it.
Really? That's it? Any other stories?
We got 3 minutes to go till we're done. So really can't get into it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to get
I
into
can't think of any other stories.
But you can't think of any other stories?
Just give him the gist of the story.
No, there's that. There's the night I ditched the girl at McLeod.
Any other stories? Watch this. Every time I say, are there any other stories, he's going to come up with a new story.
No, I think that's it.
Any other stories?
I think that's it.
That's it?
That's it. I think.
No other stories?
I don't think so.
No?
He's worried now.
No? No? Hanging out at your house, getting flipped ass over tea kettle in the back of a chair, sitting at your house? That's not a story?
That's not my story.
I'm pretty sure
That was
that's
not
your
my
story.
story.
Really?
That was her story, not
that's-
my story. I was innocent.
That's your story.
That's not my story.
You gotta own it, bro.
Too bad. We got to end the show.
No
All
other stories?
right.
No
The
other
girl
stories?
you kicked out. The girl you kicked out of your bed, and she went and slept in the bed with your friend.
No. Yeah. Any other stories?
You have it the wrong
We
way.
can keep
Actually,
going.
she came to my
Would
room.
you like us
Yeah.
to keep going?
Or how about the one about banging the girl down at Lions Park next to the chain
And
link
she had
Any
and
other
true story.
stories?
And true story. She had a lazy eye.
One eye that looks straight ahead, and the other eye
So
looked
the
at a
joke was
90-degree
she could
angle
look
to
at
the
me.
right.
She could look at me and look for cops at the same time. That was perfect.
Ling-a-ling-a-ling,
Holly Kelly, we
ling,
miss you.
ling,
We
ling.
do. We love you.
Any other stories?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, there's a ton more. You didn't think there were any after the first story.
I think Holly Kelly was not really my fault.
I think it's time to wrap it up.
You got-
Holly Kelly wasn't your
Paul,
fault.
you got
No.
one kid asleep on the couch upstairs.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
He's like, yeah.
All right. So we have to tell at least
Yeah,
one
you promised
bad
me a
joke.
joke.
I'm
You
pretty sure
promised
you-
me that bad joke.
Oh, dude, he told one so bad last week. It
I
just-
know.
That's
Oh my God! It just.
Well, see, I gotta hear it now.
Do you want to hear it?
You can't.
Strip. Do you remember which one from last week?
I
The
know
one we
exactly
told after the
one.
show.
Just,
Yeah, I don't remember how it went.
I do. This thing was just crazy.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to tell him?
Tell it.
You're not going to get offended no matter how bad it is. 'Cause
No.
this really is the most offensive joke
No,
ever.
I'll be more offended if you leave me with those mental blue balls we were talking about
All
earlier.
right,
You
all
gotta deliver.
See
now.
what happens when you talk about women.
If Don's mom is watching the show, take your grilled cheese sandwich and turn the computer off. It's her fault. Okay, so this literally takes the record as the most offensive joke I've ever told.
Pussy, 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 pussy. Really bad grilled cheese sandwich. Pussy.
You bad girl. Ugh.
Changes your perception, doesn't it? Hey, you're an artist, right? Draw that.
All right, so this is the joke. This is the joke you want to hear so bad. What?
11 o'clock, brother. Tell
I
me. You
know.
got 60
What-
seconds.
What does a baby's vagina smell like?
Lean in close.
Told you, man. It's the worst joke ever. I told you, man. It's the worst joke ever.
And
Great show. Cut it.
All right, we're going to wrap the show up.
Nowhere to go after that.
Yeah, let's wrap the show. We'll see you next week. 7 to 11, the show returns. Be sure to check out Fields of Steve with an encore performance from 5 to 7. Be sure to check out Tro at his day job. We won't even mention where he works at, but if you come up to him and tell him what a baby's vagina smells like, he'll give you 10% off. Thanks for checking out the show, and good night, bitches.